Well, you may know her as a contestant on the first season of The Apprentice. She made it all the way to the final 6, or from the popular show Miami Social. But Katrina Campins has gone from apprentice to master in just a few short years. She has opened her own successful real estate agency to the stars. She's been featured in numerous publications and TV programs, and she is a much sought-after motivational speaker. All of this by the tender age of 30. Katrina joins us this morning to talk about her mission. Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Great to see you again.
Good to see you again. We're old friends, go back a long way. And
yep.
You know, one of the things I know about you, girlfriend, is you have so much energy. You like that slogan, we do more before 6 a.m. than most people do all day. Where do you get the motivation? Where do you get the energy?
That's the question I get asked most frequently is, where do you get your drive?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I was born with it. It's just, I just get so bored if I'm not on the go constantly, and there's so much that I want to achieve. My motto is sleep when you die, which is probably not the best thing all the time. But
you've got a ways to go before that happens. But you know what? This is one of the things I've always wondered about you, because you are so driven and you've achieved so much. I know a lot of women in your position, and I felt this myself. You have that feeling that you have to be uber perfect, that everything has to be right, especially being women, and you feel like you've got to do more anyway to achieve. But can that hurt us in the long run?
Absolutely, and it's interesting you bring this up, because this is a conversation I just recently had with my mother, because my mother, and I credit her for instilling so much in me, education. She always taught me that education is the one thing that no one can take away from you, but she also taught me to be a perfectionist, which could come back to bite you.
Okay, your mom's in the green room, right?
She is,
okay.
so she'll hear this. But we actually had, she said, you know what, I've realized now, and now that I've actually arrived at, in the 30s, I've realized that being perfect is not always the best thing, and sometimes being, trying to be too perfect can actually hurt you. And as a woman, you always want to go that extra mile, and you want to be everything to everyone, and you want to be a people pleaser. And I don't know how mothers do it. I still don't understand that, because there's so many working moms out there, and they're taking care of their husbands, because let's face it, men are big babies at the end of the day. But it's just they have to handle so much, and I just, motherhood is one of the most important roles.
But here's the other thing, whether you're, a working mom, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, we all have to handle so much too, just in our daily lives. And I think one of the things that tends to happen with women is that we tend to be so competitive with each other. And I don't necessarily think there's a need to do that. I think that we can be successful without being competitive with each other. And that's one of the things I don't understand about us.
Another one of my mottos is be greater. And when I say that, people ask me, well, what do you mean? Be greater than the person next to me, be greater. And I said, no, be greater than yourself. I'm a firm believer that one needs to compete with themselves. But I think also as women, if we come together, we can achieve so much. It's about striking that delicate balance between femininity and respect in the business world, but together we can accomplish a lot. So I'm a big proponent of helping other women rise to the top.
I think the other thing is a lot of women tend to think, and I've been guilty of this myself, is that you have to fit into a certain mold, to be accepted. And I was thinking about a story that you were telling us, and that, you were asked to wear pants to a business meeting. You've got great legs,
well,
okay? Somebody's telling you wear pants to a business meeting. What went through your mind, and what did you ultimately do in that situation? Who asked you to wear them?
I speak to a lot of NFL teams, because I represent a lot of athletes and entertainers with their real estate needs all around the nation. And it's a very male-dominated world. So I was going to speak to one of the NFL teams, and one of the members of the team asked me, one of the executives.
I was going to say, not
the players. The executives asked me to wear pants to the meeting. Well, my initial reaction was, my blood was boiling, and I said, no, I'm not going to conform, because I believe that I need to be everybody needs to be themselves, and I don't believe in conforming. I think everybody needs to embrace their uniqueness, and part of what has worked for me is my femininity, and also I have the drive and the determination and the work ethic to back it up. But it's a delicate balance. But I wore a skirt to the meeting.
So you didn't do the pants thing. I'm sure they appreciated that skirt too, and I'm sure that worked to your advantage.
Because I think there's no reason to conform.
Sure. The other thing too is you're 30 years old. You've achieved so much. You got your real estate license at 18. You closed your first big 6-figure deal while you were still in college. I mean, so many things that you've done in your particular life, but you're single. But we should emphasize you're single by choice.
I am.
You're not single because obviously, you know, this girl can get a date. I mean, that's not the case.
Very sweet.
So, but what is it about being single at this particular time in your life? Because you were in a long-term relationship.
I married my high school sweetheart, and he's my business partner now and dear friend, but I'm single by choice. And people ask me all the time, they said, well, is your biological clock not ticking? You're 30. It's not ticking at all. And in fact, I have tunnel vision right now on what I want to accomplish, and anything that interferes with that is just not part of my track right now. That's not to say that I don't want to have a relationship later on and have a family, but I'm working on becoming the best that I can be and achieving my goals so that I can go out and inspire others. And I also don't believe that everything needs to fit that mold. You know, again, that traditional lifestyle of a white picket fence with your, you know, 2 dogs and 3 kids. I'm choosing a different path, and I want to help inspire women, and I'm doing what's best, you know, right now in my career to help accomplish that.
Well, one of the paths that really brought us to your attention is The Apprentice, obviously, and working with Donald Trump and Omarosa. Tell me a little bit about that experience and how that helped mold you and shape you, because let me tell you, that was trial by fire.
And I was 23 years old.
That's right.
I was not interested in reality television. I thought it would destroy everything I've tried so hard to prove as a businesswoman at that age. And next thing you knew, I was living in Trump Towers with Omarosa as my roommate. And I have to say, it was a surreal experience. It was the first season of The Apprentice, so we didn't expect it to become as big as it did. But I walked out of Trump Tower with a shield of armor. I mean, I learned a lot. I learned more in those 15 weeks than I did my 4 years in college.
Wonderful. What would you say is the final message you'd like to leave with women out there who are struggling to either find their identity or trying to find that inner peace, or trying to, you know, not fit into the mold that everybody has outlined for them? What would be your message?
I would say to look within and eliminate the crowd, ignore everybody, and focus on yourself and follow your heart. There's nothing like your gut, especially a woman's gut. It never steers you wrong. And then strive to be greater, because once you're at that level, you can help the world, and that's what we need more of nowadays.
Absolutely. Katrina Campins, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Very insightful interview. I learned stuff about you I didn't even know. All right. If you would like to learn even more about Katrina Campins and everything she's up to, make sure you check out her websites. Yeah, that is with a plural. They are tccse.com or thecampinscompany.com.